The confirmed number of coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County comes to 647,542. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 9,016. Now here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 3,223, with total confirmed deaths at 79. We anticipate those numbers to change as the county updates its last 24-hour operating period. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Jin Chun. It's 4 p.m. on Wednesday, December 23rd. LA County now has more than 9,000 confirmed COVID-19 deaths. More than 1,000 of those deaths happened over the past 2 weeks. That's nearly 73 COVID-19 deaths per day over that short span of time. The county confirmed 12,954 new cases of COVID-19 and 88 new deaths overnight. 5,886 people are hospitalized with the coronavirus, and 20% of them are in the ICU. The number of those hospitalized today is another new high for the county. The latest hospitalization count has also spiked by more than 2,700 daily patients from 2 weeks ago. Health officials say elective and non-urgent surgeries are being canceled to free up staff and nurses, and doctors aren't able to see patients as often. Some patients are even being monitored remotely with a heart monitor. The University of Southern California Center for Social and Economic Research continues to conduct weekly surveys documenting LA County residents' actions during this pandemic. Nearly 80% of those surveyed say they've been to a grocery store or a pharmacy over the past week. 30% say they saw a friend, a neighbor, or a relative, and 30% admit to having visitors at their homes. Public health officials say if this survey is an accurate representation of all LA County residents, more than 3 million people are not following the safety guidance provided by the county, which has urged the public not to gather with people outside of immediate households. Many people infected with COVID-19 are asymptomatic and can unknowingly spread the virus to others, including those who have underlying health conditions with increased risk for serious illness and death. LA now has a map that shows where COVID-19 cases and deaths are happening throughout the city. It's the first interactive layout of its kind for this area, and you can see recent cases as well as mortality trends across the 139 neighborhoods in the city of LA. The map's latest data shows new cases per 100,000 residents in each neighborhood between December 12th through the 18th. During that time, the city recorded 37,806 new infections and 207 deaths. City officials say this website makes it easier than ever for residents to track the virus and make testing appointments. LA increased its COVID-19 testing capability to 46,000 per day at its sites. The map is available at coronavirus.lacity.org/map. Well, California Governor Gavin Newsom gave an update this afternoon on the latest COVID numbers, as well as a couple of key appointments he made this week. Governor Newsom says the state saw 39,069 new cases of the coronavirus over the past 24 hours, as the state experiences a 12.3% positivity rate, the highest 14-day total ever. Also, during the same period, he says 361 people lost their lives to the coronavirus. And as a state, we're now down to just 1.1% ICU capacity. Governor Newsom added that 55.4% of all ICU patients in California tested positive for coronavirus, and 33.5% of all who are hospitalized now have COVID-19 as well. On a more positive note, the governor shared that 128,210 doses of the COVID-19 vaccines have been administered to date, including to the most remote parts of California. He also formally introduced Alex Padilla and Dr. Shirley Weber. Padilla will fill the U.S. Senate seat left by Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, and Weber will move into Padilla's current role as Secretary of State. Well, hospitals throughout California are maxed out, and healthcare workers are forced to get creative when it comes to treating some COVID-19 patients. Top executives from several of the state's largest hospital systems say their staff is beyond exhausted, and many are now having to provide services outside of their normal duties. Dignity Health, Kaiser Permanente, and Sutter Health cover 15 million Californians, and their staff can be seen attending COVID-19 patients who are stacked up in hallways and conference rooms. Over at the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Hospital in Los Angeles, a doctor says patients have been spilling over into the gift shop and multiple tents outside the emergency department. An ER physician at El Centro Regional Medical Center in Imperial County says they don't have space for anybody, and they've been holding patients for days because they can't get them transferred and there are no beds for them. That facility put up a 50-bed tent in its parking lot and converted 3 operating rooms to care for patients with COVID. This all comes as California gets closer to 2 million confirmed cases of COVID-19. California is also running out of hospital personnel. The demand for travel nurses went up 44% over the last month, and the state is reaching out to places outside of the country, such as Australia and Taiwan, to fill the need for 3,000 temporary medical workers, especially those who are trained in critical care. Well, Kaiser Permanente will provide a hero bonus for its healthcare workers. About 85,000 employees are expected to be recognized in this special way. They've been caring for more than 400,000 COVID-19 patients so far during this pandemic. The union representing the workers say the bonuses will go to essential staff workers, including nurses, respiratory therapists, and environmental services employees. Kaiser will also extend COVID-19 paid leave benefits through March 31st, 2021 for workers who contract the virus or become exposed. The hospital system will also maintain $200 child care grants for employees through April 3rd, 2021. The coalition of Kaiser Permanente unions has been pushing for these hero bonuses since late September. The benefits affect those working in multiple states, including California. Well, COVID-19 is now on every single continent as dozens of cases are confirmed in Antarctica. More than 35 people at a Chilean base have tested positive. The country's regional health minister says there were 21 infections involving people aboard the Chilean Navy's Sargento Aldea supply vessel, which sailed to Chile from the Antarctic Peninsula. Another case was reported at the Antarctic village where that ship docked. Leaders in the area have been trying their best to keep the virus out, since an outbreak could be especially devastating in such a remote region with very limited medical capabilities. Most countries have reduced the number of scientists and staff they are sending to Antarctica, but hundreds of people have still been arriving as part of routine operations. Well, more vaccine doses from Pfizer are on the way as it seals a new deal with the U.S. Pfizer says it will ship out an additional 100 million doses, bringing the total commitment to 200 million doses nationwide. That should be enough to vaccinate 100 million people. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar says this new federal purchase can give Americans even more confidence that we will have enough supply to vaccinate every American who wants it by June of 2021. The cost to taxpayers comes out to $1.95 billion for the additional 100 million doses. Pfizer plans to deliver at least 70 million of the doses by June 30th of next year and the remaining 30 million by July 31st. The government has an option to buy an additional 400 million doses. And thanks to the efforts of city leaders, Torrance's first responders will be offered their vaccination beginning next week. Well, President Donald Trump says he won't sign the COVID-19 relief bill unless each American receives $2,000 instead of the proposed $600, and each couple receives $4,000 instead of the $1,200. He released a video message on Twitter that has been trending today. The current Congress-approved relief package is worth $1.4 trillion and is aimed at funding government agencies through next September. It also includes multiple end-of-session priorities, such as money for transit systems, an increase in food stamp benefits, and about $4 billion to help other nations provide a COVID-19 vaccine for their residents. The president asked lawmakers to make several requested changes before he would sign the bill. While House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she would offer the proposal for a vote tomorrow, few lawmakers are expected to attend as many went home for the holidays. If President Trump does not sign this piece of legislation, the consequences could be severe, including no federal aid to struggling Americans and small businesses and a government shutdown starting December 29th. The new strain of COVID-19 found in the United Kingdom may spread more easily in children. That's what researchers think after seeing some early evidence. Over the past 6-week period, data showed that those under the age of 15 had significantly higher cases of the mutated coronavirus than the original one. This week, a new respiratory advisory group called NerveTag, which advises the UK government, said that the strain may behave differently in children when compared with others. So far during this pandemic, COVID-19 has not affected children and teenagers as badly as adults. Experts believe this may be because children have lower levels of what is known as ACE2 receptors, which the virus uses to invade the body. Studies also suggest the mutated coronavirus may spread better, but is not believed to make people more sick or more likely to die. The strain was first identified in the UK in September. Well, the current COVID-19 vaccine is highly likely to be effective against the new strain of the virus found in the UK. That's what the CEO of German pharmaceutical company BioNTech says. He expressed his confidence that his company's vaccine can help those battling the coronavirus variant across London and southern England. He added that experiments would have to be conducted to reach a more definitive conclusion. Data from such tests could become available in a few weeks. The CEO says although they don't know at the moment if their vaccine is also able to provide protection against this mutated virus, scientifically it is highly likely that the immune response by this vaccine can also deal with the new variant. He adds that 99% of the proteins that make up the new virus remain the same as the original. BioNTech and Pfizer's vaccine is being administered to frontline workers and other first priority individuals across the U.S. at this moment. Well, many Southern Californians may be heeding the advice of public health officials over this holiday season. AAA predicts that the number of travelers in our region will drop by at least 37% compared to this time last year. And nationally, at least 75% of Americans are opting to stay safer at home. AAA says most Southern Californians are expected to skip year-end holiday trips due to concerns as well as orders related to the pandemic. In its 2020 year-end travel forecast, car travel is also expected to fall to a 10-year low. The agency expects about 81 million people to drive somewhere during the holidays. The 25% drop from last year may be partly due to rising gas costs. AAA says prices at the pump across the country are getting more expensive as we get closer to Christmas. On Monday, the national gas price average jumped 6 cents to $2.22. Here in the LA area, prices are a lot higher. AAA advises everyone to enjoy a safe rest of 2020 at home and perhaps think about planning a future vacation for later in 2021 or even 2022. LA law enforcement has been busy raiding multiple parties in recent days, some that got very dangerous. The LA County Sheriff's Office tweeted that during the month of December, they targeted the underground party scene as they were deemed super spreaders. So far, they've made 235 arrests, recovered 7 illegal firearms, and rescued 1 at-risk juvenile. They shared pictures of dozens of people being arrested at illegal parties in the LA area. Most recently, sheriff deputies made 67 arrests on Saturday and Sunday after shutting down 3 different parties, including one in Compton. Now, dozens of people, including several juveniles, were arrested and 2 gatherings ending in gunfire, leaving 1 person dead and 3 wounded. Deputies also found evidence of illegal use of nitrous oxide at one of the parties. The sheriff's office says the goal of these enforcement actions is to reduce the spread of COVID-19 and the risk to our vulnerable populations. The county's public health department has been warning residents for weeks now to refrain from gathering in groups that include people outside of immediate households. Well, on a brighter note, we're just 2 days away from Christmas, and despite this pandemic, Santa Claus still plans to spread joy around the world. And for 65 years, NORAD has been helping families to track their activities. NORAD stands for North American Aerospace Defense Command, and while it's normally used to track aerospace in the event of a nuclear attack, each Christmas it's used to check Santa's progress. Around 9 million people from 200 countries look forward to seeing Santa's every move as he travels around the world to deliver gifts. The website noradsanta.org launches tomorrow on Christmas Eve. The trip around the world will take Santa 24 hours. Now, to visit every child, he'll be logging 1,800 miles per second, visiting 390,000 homes per minute. Now, this fast speed makes him almost invisible to the naked eye. Santa is estimated to consume about 71 million calories during his journey if he eats all the milk and cookies left out for him, enough to keep him going probably for the rest of the year. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share stories from our community, feel-good pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. South Bay Mommies and Daddies launched a special fundraising campaign called Project South Bay Heroes to support our healthcare workers. Using donations from the community, they're purchasing food from local restaurants and providing meals for our local frontline heroes at South Bay hospitals. Now, yesterday, they delivered 50 meals to the Little Company of Mary in San Pedro, and today they are delivering another 50 meals to Little Company of Mary in Torrance. As of this morning, they've raised $2,600, and they just launched the campaign last Friday afternoon. The group also created a video showing South Bay residents holding handwritten thank you signs. What wonderful ways to show our appreciation to those who are helping our community in crucial ways this holiday season. Now, if you have a great story to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our COVID-19 update for today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as Ben McCain brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.